Alright guys, welcome back to Urge. We're coming at you with the next subclass in our series, which is the Wizard Arcane Tradition of the School of Divination.
A lot of
mouthful
all
there.
of the words.
If you're new to the series, basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at all of the abilities in the subclass and see how those improve on the base subclass and give it a rating for the RP value, the combat value, and the overall synergy with the base class. We're also going to be doing a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers for the new Eberron book coming out in November. You can enter by commenting on our videos and subscribing to the channel. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be doing that giveaway.
So the faster you subscribe and get others to subscribe, the faster that giveaway happens.
That's right.
Boom.
So, without any further ado, we'll get started.
Yes, right.
What we got?
So, as with all the wizard subclasses, it's not really a thematic-based subclass, but you focus on a particular school of magic, hence being the School of Divination. And each one, we decided to give a little bit of a bonus, kind of like the Paladin Oaths, because they give a little extra specific text to give you an idea on a, that School of Magic Wizard, how their magic works, how they would kind of be. So it kind of helps build your character just a little bit on the backstory side of things. So, the counsel of a diviner is sought by royalty and commoners alike, for all seek a clear understanding of the past, present, and future. As a diviner, you strive to part the veils of space, time, and consciousness so that you can clearly see. You work to master spells of discernment, remote viewing, supernatural knowledge, and foresight. So, immediately I'm like, fortune teller at the carnival, but you're actually legit. Kind of thing, at least at lower levels. And then you're like superpower, all-knowing. We'll get there. Of course, the first thing you get at level 2 when you pick this is fill in the blank savant, like with all the subclasses and schools of wizard. So with your spell book, anytime you choose to copy a divination spell into your spell book, the gold cost and the duration cost, both at time, are reduced by half. Simple enough. Part of what subclass gives you.
Also at level 2, you gain Portent.
Oh boy.
This is
busted.
Fantastic. Love it. Basically, at the beginning of a day, you can see into the future, glimpses of the day. When you finish a long rest, you roll 2d20s.
2d20s.
So you wake up, you roll 2d20s.
Boom.
You write those down.
Boom.
During that day, until the next long rest, you have those 2 dice to alter some potential rolls. You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you, or any creature that you can see.
Friend or foe. Here, as an example, I rolled a 17 and an 11.
So you write those down.
Those are freebies that I can choose to do with whenever I want.
You need to do it before the roll.
Yes.
So you can replace it ahead of time. So they can't roll and then you change it. You might say like, hold person, and then you're like, you rolled an 11. Or say you hit a creature and you know their armor class is around a certain level, and you're like, well, I know a 17 will hit, so I just will say I'm going to hit, and I'm going to guarantee that my buddy over there, that rogue,
you make sure that a rogue gets
hit.
that sneak attack in.
So yeah, you can do some really interesting
Yes.
things to change it. It's kind of like a different version of the Lucky Feat.
Right.
And if you take the Lucky Feat with this, oh boy,
It's
you'll be
so dumb.
changing all the rolls,
Your DM
altering
will
all
hate
the
you.
stuff. It'd actually be
Promise.
really cool, but Lucky Feat is probably one of the most thematic feats that you could take
Oh, yeah.
in this subclass.
For sure it fits with it, yeah. On to expert divination at level 6. This is also really, really cool. So, whenever you cast a divination spell of level 2 or higher, you get a spell slot back of a lower level. So, just free spell slots.
Yep.
What else could a caster want besides extra spell slots?
More spells.
So what that really lets you do is, primarily, most of your divination spells are RP spells.
Correct.
So essentially it takes away some of that stress of worrying about having to spend a spell slot on RP, thinking I might need that spell slot for combat later. Essentially it just kind of takes away the stress and lets you be more free with your RP spell casting.
Definitely. And there is a limit to the level 5 spell slot.
Right, yeah, so you can't cast a level 8 and get a level 7 back.
Right. Then at level 10, we have the third eye. Basically, you can use an action to increase your powers of perception. You can choose one of the following benefits, which is dark vision, up to 60 feet, ethereal sight, up to 60 feet in front of you, and greater comprehension. You can read any language. And lastly, see invisibility. You can see invisible creatures and objects within 10 feet of you, if they're within line of sight. So, and this also lasts until you're incapacitated or until you take a short or long rest.
Yes.
So, but it is just an action, and there is no limit to the amount of times you can do it. It just lasts.
Lasts until the rest.
You take a short rest, you just use it again right when you get out of your short rest, you're good to go.
Change it up if you want to.
So, definitely a really interesting ability here. More on the RP side, but it does have some combat uses.
Absolutely. Your capstone, per se, is about as straightforward and simple as it gets. It's greater important. Instead of 2 of these little buggers, now you have 3 of them. Enough said. And with that said, let's go ahead and get over to the old scoring section.
Alright, so first up we have the roleplay value.
Yes.
As you can imagine, portent is very important for all
Well done by you, bud.
all facets of RP and combat and whatever, because it lets you impact attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
Yes.
So ability checks is going to be primarily
that really loud barbarian that wants to stomp through everything. You're like, be quiet.
like, hey, there you go.
Here's this 18. Take that as your stealth roll.
Right, exactly. So it can definitely be impacted on that. So that's huge, and of course, that's going to be a major factor in the scoring of everything here.
Yeah.
Also, the third eye, you gain different kinds of vision that can be used a lot for RP.
Right.
Especially if you take a race that doesn't have dark vision normally.
Yep.
You just gain dark vision.
From level 10 on, you have dark
Because
vision.
it can be very annoying to not have dark vision sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So having that ability is helpful. And of course, some situations with ethereal sight, if you're fighting something that has blink, or a phase spider, or something that can disappear into the ethereal plane for whatever reason, you'll be able to kind of keep track of where they're moving or whatever. So definitely lots of RP stuff there. And also the expert divination, you do get a downgraded spell slot returned, but it still takes off a lot of stress, because if you were a different subclass, you wouldn't get necessarily that ability to be able to freely RP without as much worry. So, that being said, we gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 a thumb there.
So, very good on the RP side,
Yes.
In our opinion. The only thing that we didn't give it a 5 for is because greater portent, it's just improving an ability you already got, so it's it kind of felt weird to give it a 5 out of 5 just because even though this ability is very strong, it would have been cool to have another ability instead of just improving one, regardless of how good that improvement was.
Right.
So,
Still very good.
Very good.
On the combat side of things, we're still looking very strong. We went with a 4. And let's be real, it's strictly important is a big reason why.
Yeah.
We talk about it being a thing in RP, but it's just as a big thing in combat as well. Like when Jameson hinted earlier, with both attack rolls, and, making sure you get a hit in, whether it's your barbarian, especially if you roll a nat 20 and it's just sitting there. Just imagine hand that off to your assassin rogue or your brutal critical barbarian, saying, "Hey, bud, go have a little fun."
Correct.
If you do have your nice little natty 3 sitting there, and you throw a really important spell at somebody, you'd be like,
They fail that.
hope your saving throw plus is pretty high there, bud.
Right.
Pretty much. And even the thing that's, to me, that's the first thing that popped into my head is reducing an enemy's saving throws. As somebody who plays a primary spellcaster and watching all of my damage get reduced, or watching my whole persons and things like that just getting nulled, and thinking you're gonna do something cool, and they're just like, no, I rolled a natural 19 plus whatever the modifiers.
Yeah. You're just forcing a dragon to fail.
Right, and even the creatures that do have legendary resistances that have auto saves, you're going to force them to burn one of those legendary resistances.
And
there.
like with the lucky feat, when you're rolling an extra die and you're deciding which one you would choose, this is better because you know
what the number is in advance.
You can shift stuff around. If you roll 3 bad numbers and you roll 3 under 10s, you just give them to the enemies.
Right.
You're good to go.
Yeah, that's their chance to hit their saving throw and their ability check. The expert divination, it's still it indirectly affects your combat, but because you don't have to worry about casting your RP spells, Your scryings is obviously a big one. Your clairvoyance, arcane eye, things like that you would want to do as a divination wizard specifically to get your bonuses. It would still gives you back a slightly weaker spell, so you can throw an arcane eye out there to follow somebody, and they wouldn't know they're being followed, and you get firewall back. So
Yeah.
that still really helps
Nice.
out your combat side as well.
And lastly, we have the overall class synergy. This one is actually pretty interesting as well, just because of the way that expert divination works. Again, it's kind of a strange ability because it doesn't directly improve combat or synergize, but it kind of indirectly does a little bit of everything. Actually,
Right, yeah.
It helps with RP and combat because it's not taking up spells as much and things like that. But with the wizard and the synergy, we have to look primarily at the base class, which the base wizard does not have too much going on for it. Arcane recovery, you're just regaining spell slots. Arcane tradition, I mean, that's the school here. Your ability score improvement, everybody gets those, and that's just not really much synergized with those. So you're looking at the spell mastery, which is your level 18, choosing your first and second level spells that are cast at will. And then also the signature spells, your level 3 spells that you can cast once a day without using a spell slot. Which is interesting because with your expert divination here, you have a very interesting ability, which is if you cast a third level spell, depending on whatever it is that you take here, there's not a whole lot of options for third level divination.
Clairvoyance and tongues, I think, are it off the top of my head.
So you're able to cast those for free because you can cast them once a day with your signature spell. If you were to take one of those as a signature spell, and then you gain a level 2 spell back. So you're basically getting a free RP spell to gain an extra level 2 spell, basically. So it's a nice little trade there for that. So there's some synergy there. And then the only thing with the spell mastery is there's not tons of first and second level spells that super synergize with divination.
Well, the issue is with your ability of expert divination, it requires level 2s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool level 1s,
So-
your detect magic and comprehend languages and things like
Right.
identify
Yeah.
are all level 1 divinations, which are really cool, but it doesn't benefit your expert divination to get level 2s.
Yeah, it doesn't really benefit you too much. There's not really too much motivation to just take first and second level divination spells because you're not going to get full benefit from the first level spells. If you take one level 2 to be able to cast at will is pretty good because you're basically getting level 1s stuff. It's pretty good.
Which can refund the ones you'd be using for RP anyway, so it kind of loops back in itself,
Yeah,
kind of
it's pretty
refeeds itself pretty well.
But that being said, we went ahead and gave it a 4 out of 5. Pretty solid synergy all around. But yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting class. It's definitely pretty unique, I think, because it does focus heavily on RP, but the abilities can be used in combat or indirectly improve combat as well. So it's a very interesting kind of ebb and flow of RP and combat and how they kind of synergize between the two with the subclass. So really cool, fun subclass, I think. Those are pretty much our thoughts on the subclass, guys. Again, we're going to be doing a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, so please remember to like, subscribe, leave comments down below. Let us know what you guys thought about the video, stuff you want to see in the future. Make sure to hit that bell notification so
there it is.
new videos.
I was behind in my head. Like, this one, that one, yeah.
But we'll be keeping these coming out for you guys. Have some new mini-series we're thinking about working on.
Yep.
So just stay tuned to the channel and keep posted. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.